I know everyone is anxiously awaiting their C8 Corvette delivery, but unfortunately the GM strike is still going on. We are entering week 4 of the GM strike, and as of right now, there doesn't seem to be any resolution in the near future. So what's going on? Details are still minimal because there's really been no solution as of right now. They're still arguing about pay. They're still arguing about health insurance. They're still arguing about bringing on the temp employees full time. Right now, they're saying the average plant employee makes $30 an hour. Again, ballpark, give or take on average, and make about $1,200 a week. I'd say that's pretty good pay. Now, while on strike, they're only collecting a check for $250. So although they're hurting GM with a lack of production, $250 a week isn't going to get you pretty much anything these days. So you're also hurting yourself while being on a strike. Now, obviously, you don't have a choice in the matter. You work for a union. They're going to do what they want. Although they're supposed to be representing you to get you better stuff, you're still hurting financially during the time in which negotiations are going on. Now, what does all of this mean throughout the whole grand scheme of things for production? They estimate the GM has lost $600 million thus far and continue to lose roughly $10 million per day. That is a huge chunk of money, but they're not the only ones being affected. Now, you also have to look at the people who are outside GM's employment and still get affected by things like this, because look at the truckers who take the vehicles from the plant to the dealerships who are also out of jobs. So there's estimated 1,200 truckers and I'm not sure how many companies who don't have work right now. But again, they're still negotiating health insurance, which right now they only pay 3% of. Now, I don't know what is on the table as far as bargaining goes. That hasn't been disclosed. But this week, not sure when you're watching the video, but early October, this week, they were supposed to be retooling the GM plant to manufacture and produce the C8 mid-engine Corvette. Obviously, that hasn't happened right now. Now, in order to get the C8 out in December, again, this is the week they were supposed to be retooling the plant. Now, 4 weeks into the strike, there's still a lot of C7 orders that have not been filled, who are still waiting on the production of those cars. So we're backlogged on the C7 Corvette. We haven't retooled the plant yet for the C8 Corvette, which they had to have been doing this week. So as of right now, the C8 Corvette production is definitely delayed. There's no way around that. They would have to retool the plant this week in order to get them out by December. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. There's no resolution in sight for the strike. So I'm sorry, but if you ordered a C8 Corvette, you're going to have to wait a little longer. I know that's upsetting. It's been a highly anticipated car. And right now, unless something dramatic happens in the next day or two, it doesn't look like the plant's going to get retooled for production of the mid-engine Corvette. They also just released and debuted the Corvette convertible. That was supposed to start deliveries around first quarter of 2020. Needless to say, again, that one's going to be delayed too unless something drastic happens. Now, I have a few concerns about this. Now, they may be outlandish concerns. Maybe they're a little far-fetched. You let me know down in the comments. But speaking of comments and stuff like that, real quick, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to the channel. If you're into all kinds of automotive news, trends, just car talk like this in general, go hit the subscribe button right now. You know, looks like that. But yeah, give the channel some support. Hit that subscribe button. Love to have you here. And hit that like button while you're down there as well. I mean, just hit all those buttons. You know, just not the thumbs down button. I don't like that button. But hit all those buttons. And I appreciate all your support in helping the channel grow. Now, back to the topic at hand. The thing I'm concerned with is, we know we have angry employees fighting GM for more pay, job stability, health, all that stuff. But once all these contracts and stuff are signed, once all this strike stuff is over, what kind of mentality are the employees going to be in when they get back to work? My thought is, everyone's in such a rush and in such anticipation to get the C8 Corvette, whether it be the coupe or the convertible, whatever. But what's the build quality going to be like now after a strike like this? I mean, is there going to be build issues? Is there going to be things that have been overlooked or rushed, or, you know, whatever the case may be, now that you have that tension between employee and, you know, GM? Are they going to put as much heart and soul into building the car? I don't know. Is it going to affect production quality as much? I don't know. I'm hoping that's not the case, but let's face it, people are still human. You're still going to hold a grudge. You still have good and bad days. And I'm not sure what a strike like this takes out of a person, mentally, physically, what your thoughts are on the company after stuff like this. So I kind of wonder about the build quality of the car after a big strike. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, so don't jump down my throat and be like, oh my God, he's such a negative person right now. I'm not being negative about it. I'm just kind of thinking about the human aspect. I mean, I know if I were on strike for 4 weeks, one, I'm anxious to get back to work because I need the money. And two, I'm still probably going to be a little angry that the strike happened to begin with. And I don't know where my head's going to be as far as paying super close attention and trying to get that build quality perfect. Again, I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm just trying to point out some things to consider. I'm not a big fan of buying anything first year, first model, you know, of any car. It doesn't matter what it is, because there's always something new to break. There's always something new to have bugs worked out of. And overall, adding this on top of that, it kind of has me a little concerned. Maybe I'm putting too much thought into it. I probably am, but I'm just throwing ideas out in the air what could possibly be. Anyway, let me know what you think of this whole thing. Drop your comments down below. Are you concerned about the build quality of the Vette? Are you concerned about when the Corvette's going to be built? Maybe you have some insight on the strike itself, on what's going on, how long it's going to take. Right now, I haven't heard or read anything about a solution anytime in the near future. So as far as we're concerned, it's ongoing. It's continued to be negotiated, and we're just got to wait and see. So unfortunately, sorry if you ordered a C8 Corvette, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. All right, on to that little bit of mini news. This also happens to pertain to the C8 Corvette. Now, what I find interesting about this bit of news is it's not really news. People have been doing this a while, but it's a big deal because it's the C8 Corvette. And what that is Chevy has put in fake engine sounds in the cabin. That's not new, but apparently it's upsetting some people. Now, obviously you get that nice engine right behind your head. It screams, it's got great sounds. We've already heard clips about it. But the thing is, to refine a car, to cut down on wind noise, you have to really make the cabin pretty much soundproof. And when you do that, obviously you're going to cut out the sound of the engine, so you're not going to be able to hear it. So what do? They simply pump in fake engine noise, as they put it, via either sound tube. I mean, Ford's been doing it for a few years now. They have a sound tube going from the engine bay into the cabin so you can hear that sound. Now, Matt Farah, you may know him from other automotive channels on YouTube, has been able to drive the C8 Corvette and had noticed this first and mentioned the fact that it was a little surprising. I'm not overly surprised, to be completely honest with you. Again, they've been doing it for a while. But he actually mentioned that he was able to turn the system off. There hasn't been a lot of detail about the system, how it works, how to turn it off. What he did, we don't know yet because they weren't allowed to release the article as of right now. So maybe by the time you're watching this, they have. Maybe they still haven't, I don't know. But it can be turned on or off. I'm not sure if it was via pulling a fuse or if it's a switch. I don't know. I doubt it's a switch. It's probably pull a fuse or something like that. But if you want to hear the engine, but you still want that refined cabin where you don't get a bunch of wind noise, you're going to have to make a compromise somewhere. Now, I get the fake engine noises upsetting the purists, but you know, we're in a time and age where that kind of stuff, you have to give a little to get a little, so to speak. I would take the fake engine noise because that's part of the idea of having a sports car like that, is to hear the engine. So fake or not, I want something to listen to. So I don't know. What do you think of a fake engine noise in the C8 Corvette? Upsetting some don't care. What do you think about it? Make sure you drop your comments down below on this subject and the subject prior, being the GM strike and the production line. So hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I'll catch you next video.